let's start coding. Let's go back to the terminal, and now we have here a folder with the complete TypeScript course, and we have confirmed that we can install the full version of our code. Now we are going to leave that folder there. We're going to see later how can we jump to different points of the course using it. Let's just leave it there untouched, and we are going to create a new directory. And you are going to call it maybe my project or something else that you want to call it. You cd into it, and this is an empty folder. Now we are going to turn this folder into a Node.js project. And there are two reasons for that. The first is that our REST API will be a Node.js REST API. But the second reason is that the Angular 2 client that we are going to build much later in the course, it will also be using Node and NPM, not as a server, but as a build tool. So Node has those two different usages. Let's get started. In order to turn this into a Node project, we are going to do npm init on an empty folder. At this stage of the project, you simply hit enter in all the questions, and this will generate in the end for you a package.json. So you should have now an empty directory with a single file, package.json. As you can see, the package.json file is a project descriptor. It contains the name of the project, the version, the description, and a couple of other properties. Also, it will contain the dependencies of our project. The first dependency that we use in our project is TypeScript, right? That's the first thing that we're going to need. We're going to install TypeScript in our project. So before we have installed it globally, but we are also going to say here that this project, the my project module package, depends on TypeScript, and the -D flag means that it's a development dependency. So let's install TypeScript locally to the project. If we inspect the content of the package.json again, you should have here in your dev dependencies property a version of TypeScript 2 or higher. So let's show that we have here a node modules folder next to your package.json. If you cd into it and you inspect the contents of the folder, you will see that you have here TypeScript installed. So this is a local installation of TypeScript. In these few sections we will be using the TypeScript that we have installed globally, but this installation of TypeScript that you have here, if you want to use it instead of the one that you installed globally, you simply do node modules.bin tsc, and let's do a -- version to show that this is the TypeScript that we have just installed. So we need to add TypeScript to our development dependencies. We can choose to use either the locally installed TypeScript or the globally installed TypeScript. In the terminal, it's more practical to use the global version of TypeScript. You might be wondering, what is the advantage of having multiple versions of TypeScript in your machine? Well, you could have a project that is dependent on TypeScript 2 and another that is dependent on TypeScript 1. And one only compiles in a certain version of the language because it's a breaking change. So that's one example. Now we have our Node project set up, so let's start writing TypeScript.